This is me, Superbot. What's up, gaming universe? I'm back with a whole shit ton of news to talk about. Yes, that is right. I've been MIA for 2 weeks, then a whole bunch of news just comes into place. It's crazy, really. It's insane. But some of this I don't feel too bad not, taking my time to talk about because I kind of already touched it in a video already. We'll get into that soon enough. I'm just going to be talking about some of the updates with Smash Brothers 4 and PlayStation All-Stars, of course. Mainly, we're going to be talking PlayStation All-Stars with all that's happened within the last, 15 days, 16 days or so, half a month. So, yeah, let's get right down to it. Let's get right down to what I missed, or what I delayed talking about. First off, we're going to talk about, I made a video at the end of last month talking about a big 8-character leaked list of unconfirmed fighters that were found in a beta file by a bunch of hackers that Superbot never officially confirmed. Well, at Gamescom, they did a huge, shocking thing and officially confirmed 4 of those 8 characters at the event, and as of today, also confirmed another one, meaning that 5 of those characters of that original leak list have now been confirmed, leaving only 3 unconfirmed. Then I'll get to who all those are right now. So the first character confirmed at Gamescom is Dante from Devil May Cry. He's the now third-party character to join the fray, so to speak. There's been a bit of controversy because of the new look that they're going with him for this game. It's like either an upcoming Devil May Cry game that he looks like this in, it's a brand new look, or it's like some sort of upcoming DLC that's related to Devil May Cry. He's taking a look from this new gaming look, and it's kind of controversial because people are used to him with, like the white hair and the red attire. And I just kind of look at it this way, like, yeah, especially if he's like your favorite character, it doesn't really matter, how he looks. At least you can fight as him, and he uses all the moves you'd expect. Like, this guy has like awesome chain combinations that he can use with his sword. He does a lot of awesome combinations, especially chain combinations. It really is great stuff, and he's an officially confirmed character. So whether he has short brown hair rather than his longer white hair, and he dresses a little differently, at least you can still hack and slash like Dante, and if he's your favorite gaming character, at least you get to play as him. At least he's in the game, and I'm sure, he kind of gets that look that we're all familiar with when he goes into his level 3 super and becomes like Super Dante or whatever. And I'm sure maybe his original look will be an alternate costume, or it could be some sort of DLC material to milk that up. But, on top of that, just kind of be thankful that he's in the game, and he's the third-party character to be announced, and he's the Capcom representative for this game, so that's that. After that, Ratchet and Clank were the second to be announced. No surprise there. I think, most of us thought it was logical to have them be in the game. They make a lot of sense. It's a really wise roster spot. They're a major name for PlayStation 2. Maybe not so much the PlayStation 3 now, but they were really a major series for the second PlayStation. And you mainly play as Ratchet. Clank helps out with a few moves, and certainly at least one super, and I think it's level 2 super where you play as Clank. Just like with Jack and Daxter, who also were kind of like a character team that was kind of like most fans would agree was likely to be in the game. You mainly play as Jack, but Daxter also helps with a few moves and such. Same with Ratchet. You mainly play as Ratchet, but Clank will help out here and there. Very wise roster spot. Awesome to finally be announced. No complaints here. Definitely a worthy choice. And now, my personal favorite of the announced characters of that day of Gamescom was one of the 2 characters I've been itching to finally hear be finally announced, other than Crash Bandicoot, and that's of course Sackboy. My goodness, if you haven't seen his trailer yet, you have to see it. All those little Big Planet fans or members of Team Sackboy like me, which I'm guessing all of you probably have already seen this trailer. It's awesome. I mean, he uses stickers, uses other different commands from Little Big Planet as his attacks. His moveset is just exactly what you'd expect it to be, and it's really awesome. Like, the only thing that I got wrong was the time he'd be announced. I thought for sure it would be him and Nathan Drake, who were announced at E3 this year. But no, I was right on Nathan being announced at E3. Not so much Sackboy. It took till Gamescom for Sackboy to be officially announced by Superbot. But awesome that he's announced nonetheless. Definitely a character I'm super looking forward to playing as. Awesome choice. And the last of the Gamescom announcements was, of course, Spike from Ape Escape. Kind of like, like the older legendary PlayStation character, but still kind of obscure. This is the kind of thing when I was talking about, like, if Tomba was included, just like an older PlayStation face, to use in the roster. And he looks pretty badass, I must say. He's got like these little Nerf sword looking things, and he, like Dante, has some awesome chain combinations. A really awesome level 3 super where he sends like this awesome signal out to space, and it goes, and when it comes back to Earth it kills everybody instantly. He looks really interesting and unique to play as. An interesting roster addition indeed. Ape Escape was a big series for PlayStation, at least for the first PlayStation as well, and Spike was kind of like the face of that game for the North American releases, so it's pretty cool to see him in the mix as well. And now on to the speculation part of this video in a moment, after I also confirm that as of today, a 5th character of this leaked roster list was announced. Yes, I almost completely forgot about this. Evil Cole McGrath was announced just today. Yeah, just today. They were doing, I forget what it was, there was some sort of a game show in San Antonio, Texas today, and Evil Cole was confirmed. Now, of course, everybody knows if you played Infamous that that Cole's fate can change throughout the game. You either can continue to be a good guy, or you can turn the way and go the path of the villain. And I made kind of controversial comments on this when he was one of the 8 characters leaked. I said it's kind of a waste of a roster spot. It's kind of like, the clone thing. I didn't want this game to have any clones, especially coming from Super Smash Brothers, which, Melee and Brawl had their fair share of clones. I thought, Cole and Evil Cole, it's like, what's the point? But Evil Cole, from the trailer I seen, which really is a must-watch, because it made me think, wow, completely changed my thoughts on this character. He does play out a lot differently than good guy Cole, regular Cole. Obviously he's more dastardly. He's the villain. He plays out more viciously, works his attacks differently. And his level 3 super, in my opinion, is much more cooler than regular Cole's level 3 super. So he's got that in mind. He plays out way more differently than I ever would have thought he would play out, and looks to be, I'm going to say, a lot of fun to play as. So I take back my comments on him being a waste, perhaps a waste of a roster spot, or maybe he should just be like a an attire change. He plays out a lot differently, and he can at least say his level 3 super looks cooler than the good guy version of him. So props to them for that, for making somebody who I thought was just like a lame addition to the roster or a waste of spot actually look like somebody who's pretty badass. This roster is still shaping up to be pretty damn fine, if you ask me. Really cool. And now on to the speculation, as I was saying earlier, before I remembered that Evil Cole was announced. Rumors are running rampant about characters that are still yet to be confirmed for this game, such as a potential Final Fantasy character for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. At Gamescom, the game's director, Omar Kendall, was basically asked a question on if, any Final Fantasy characters would be possible. And he said, and I quote, "You'll just have to stay tuned. We haven't announced a Final Fantasy character yet, but stay tuned." So that makes me lead to believe that there's going to be some sort of Square Enix representative. And as much as I would just love it to be Sora, because I'm just a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, I'm a way bigger Kingdom Hearts fan than I am a Final Fantasy fan. I think really the Square Enix representative, because there's only going to be one, you're not going to see 2 characters from the same third party, and I'll get to another comparison of that in a little bit later on with some more speculation. But, it's either going to be the main hero or main villain from Final Fantasy VII. It's either going to be Cloud or Sephiroth, one way or the other. That gets the nod to be in this game. I don't see it being anybody other than those two. And I think Cloud gets the edge because, like, he's the main hero of Final Fantasy VII. He's the main guy. And as far as that, that's like one of the most legendary PlayStation titles ever. And he's the face of that game, and really, he can be considered a classic PlayStation character. And this is an all-stars game. So I can understand that, like, they need to put somebody in there who's got heritage and history with PlayStation. And Cloud has that, and he's had it for a long time. And really, as I said, like, him and Sephiroth could be considered classic PlayStation characters. And I'm not saying Sora isn't. In fact, like Ratchet and Clank, he was a big driving force with the PlayStation 2, and Jak and Daxter, they were big titles for the PlayStation 2. But Cloud, he started on the first PlayStation, and he just has a bit more of a legendary status in terms of, like, how long, like, his Sony heritage has lasted. And I guess that's kind of like a driving force in this, that this is an all-stars game, so you got to take, the best legends, the best all-stars. And I think, as far as a Square Enix representative goes, if we're going to get any, it's going to be Cloud Strife, and it's a fine choice. So, as Omar Kendall said, we'll just have to stay tuned on that one. As far as more speculation on characters go, Crash Bandicoot is once again making headlines all around the gaming universe, on the internet and whatnot, mainly because of a very odd Twitter conversation between between user @WarnoMugen and the official Activision Twitter page, to which I will recite the Twitter conversation to you. @WarnoMugen initially tweets to the Activision account, "You guys should make a Crash Bandicoot Collection HD, To which the Activision page replied, @WarnoMugen, thanks for the heads up about the anniversary and your suggestions to revisit it in HD. To which @WarnoMugen replied, "Anytime, Activision team. Having a huge hope for this Bandicoot to make an appearance on PlayStation All-Stars. Cheers." To which the Activision Twitter page lastly commented, @WarnoMugen, "We hope so too. At Superbot Ent, we will have more info on this." The Twitter conversation has since been deleted, but, many people seen it and obviously took screenshots and shared it all over the internet. Interesting that, Activision's own page directly mentions Superbot's own Twitter page. Of course, Superbot Entertainment being the developing team that Sony put together specifically to make this fighting game. So it's interesting that Crash, is being mentioned. Like, Activision does own him, so he is a third-party character. But that hasn't stopped them from licensing Big Daddy from 2K Games. That hasn't stopped them from licensing Hayachi Mishima from Namco Bandai. And that hasn't stopped them from licensing Dante from Capcom. So, and Activision probably thinks this game's going to sell gangbusters for PlayStation 3 audience. So they're probably going to want a piece of it, and they're not stupid enough to not allow Crash to be in the game. And I'm sure they'll want Superbot to license them so they can get a piece of money from the game. And Crash is one of the oldest PlayStation legends. I've said this in many videos before. Like, if Big Daddy can make it, Crash Bandicoot can make it, and he's like the oldest face of PlayStation. So this only makes sense. We can hope that Crash is revealed sometime in the near future. There's this gaming convention called PAX coming up. I believe it's this weekend, like Labor Day weekend is this PAX gaming convention thing. It's another thing. It's highly rumored that more characters will be announced there, and it also coincides with Crash's anniversary, so he could be officially announced by Superbot Entertainment this weekend. So we can kind of cross our fingers on that. Even though I bet they'll probably just confirm like the last 3 characters of the leaked roster list, which at this point of that list, the only characters that need to be confirmed still are Noriko from Heavenly Sword, Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, and Sir Daniel from Medieval. So once those 3 characters are announced, officially by Superbot, there'll be no more leaked characters that need official announcements. Although it would be shocking to announce a character like Crash, who nobody knew would be in the game or not, and shock the entire world. So, if they have any reveal at PAX whatsoever, we'll have to wait and find out. I'm hoping so, and it coincides with Crash's anniversary, so we can hope for a Bandicoot announcement come this weekend on Labor Day. And finally, that brings us to some Super Smash Bros. 4 talk. Masahiro Sakurai has talked about the game and how it's being developed by his team in Namco, and up until now there's been very little revealed. But he said a bit of it. He said a few things that kind of stick out. He said the game itself is complete, so we don't want to make it 3D or introduce complicated controls just for the sake of it. He means like the game engine, how it works, and all that. He basically wants to keep it the same, but you don't really change what's broken. Basically. He talked upon, different cameos for characters in the game, like Tekken cameos, Pac-Man possibilities, this, that, and the other. He understands that, people enjoyed the third-party characters, and he said that he thinks Snake and Sonic joining was fantastic and made fans happy, and it broadened the Smash Bros. Arena. And he said, however, introducing more non-Nintendo characters willy-nilly lose the focus of the game. Also, I recognize the need to narrow it down. So, I guess he doesn't want a roster as big as the game before, but, he always adds new characters to this game, and he's keeping that in mind, but he's saying that the new characters will probably strictly be Nintendo rather than third-party, unless Namco, Bandai get to put any character of theirs in there, which the only fitting one is Pac-Man, in my opinion. I mean, there's no point in putting a Tekken character in here, once PlayStation All-Stars got Hayache. There's just no point in competing with that. If anything, your developer should be giving you something that works a little better, and that, of course, being fucking Pac-Man. He's the only character I see being a real fit for Smash Bros. That just works. The game is in development, and apparently with a respected release date sometime next year in 2013. I'm not buying that. That's just what IGN says. We'll be lucky if it gets a release date at some point in 2014. I think they'll spend the entire next year developing it. We may get a trailer next year, but that'll be the only thing released about it within next year. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out more about it through gaming conventions early this year, middle of next year. We don't know. He's just saying that he doesn't want to incorporate, more willy-nilly, third-party characters. And, he doesn't want you to have to rely on the GameCube controller. He wants to evolve Smash Bros. To where it'll work perfectly fine using the new, tablet controller that they have created for the Wii U. And, of course, the 3DS controllers are obvious as well. So, he's just basically announcing that, don't expect it to be like Melee or even Brawl for that matter, because we're trying to freshen up the control scheme and trying to make it more modern and trying to fit it with the console that it's made for. Just like for when he made it for the Nintendo 64, he had to do it with what controller was made for it. So, basically, he's announcing now that the controls for it are going to be the control that comes with your console. The controller that controls this gaming system, which this gaming system is what this game is coming out for. So it's just him clearing some stuff up, his thoughts, and saying he probably doesn't want to go out of his way to get any third-party characters, although it'd be nice if he did. I like the idea that he wants to bring back more older Nintendo characters. Perhaps Balloon Fighter or Little Mac would be nice additions to the roster. Maybe he can make it more legendary. Maybe he'll freshen it up. He'll have an old cast, plus the new cast will be older Nintendo stars. There's got to be some way to freshen it up, because it's got some competition now, and it's coming on a completely different Nintendo platform. So it'll be interesting to see where both of these games go from here. Both of them have my attention, and of course I'm looking forward to each of them respectively. Anyway, thanks for listening to this super long, epic rant of rants. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, and I'll talk to y'all later. See you around, crew. Peace.